Hello everybody, and welcome to Wednesday number 2 of 2014. I started off my vlog on a Wednesday, and I started off doing what I'm calling Weigh-In Wednesday, where I'm, on my weight loss journey, and I weigh and kind of talk about weight loss stuff for a brief while, and talk about how I'm doing with that, how I've been, doing better or worse over the last week than I normally would. I just weighed. I am now 256.8. So I gained 1.2 pounds in the last week. Now, I'm not worried about that. I did a few things this week that were different than normal, but none of it was incredibly huge. And I'm realizing that I'm gonna need to make some bigger changes on the whole if I expect to see real progress. First of all, I only walked 2 days this last week, just because the temperatures got really cold, and it was even the 2 days I went walking, or maybe I don't remember if I went 1 or 2 days. I think I went 2 days, but I'm not positive. But the time I went walking, it was really hard to stay out there very long, so I wasn't out there for a very long time. I didn't go all that far just because it was really cold. That's going to be something, especially as we move into spring over the next 2 months or so, that's going to really change, is that it's going to get a lot warmer at night, be a lot easier to go farther when I'm outside and walking around and stuff like that, so that's good. The other thing is that I have definitely cut down on some of the foods I've been eating. But what I realized, I didn't really realize this in the moment, but what I realized was when I was cutting down on food at times I would normally eat a lot, I ended up snacking more throughout the day, just because I felt I would feel hungry, so I'd grab something to, snack on, and I wasn't really thinking about it a whole lot. Most of the time. Sometimes I was like, screw it. But most of the time it was just kind of like, I'm used to having this much food in me. And so I was trying to get that much food in me again. The other thing is, I've had a lot of migraines this past week. I've had like 3 or 4 in the past week. And I only talked about 2, but some of them I got for a short while and they went away and stuff like that. Like I've got one right now, actually, a little bit, not bad, but a little bit of one. And I tend to find that drinking soda will help. Drinking soda will help my headache, typically. Sometimes it doesn't, but a lot of times it will. So because I had a lot of migraines, I was drinking lots of soda. And the other thing that happened that made me drink a lot of soda this week was that we, for the first few days of this week, our water dispenser thing in our fridge was broken. It wasn't giving any water at all, and the tap water is disgusting. So I was like, okay, well, I have the choice between the disgusting tap water or getting a soda, so I would usually just grab a soda. Partly also to just get rid of the soda, so it's not around anymore. But mostly it was just like, I would drink a lot of water right now, but our thing's broken. We don't have water coming out of the soda. So that's more or less how that happens. So what I've been thinking about is, what do I need to do to make some changes? And what I've realized is a couple of things that I can definitely begin to implement. First things first, this is the way I'm going to try Weigh-In Wednesdays, is I'm going to try maybe a new thing or a few new things each week. Progressively, we're going to get more and more extreme. Not in a bad way, but just in a, the more comfortable I get with each thing, the more I'll be able to stack on top of it. And so what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to restrict myself. I'm absolutely going to restrict myself to having a soda if I've got a migraine. Just because I find that helps. And so one thing that's come to mind in the past is that perhaps what happens is I've had soda for so many years that when I stop drinking soda, or I haven't had soda in so long, that I start getting a headache, like from deficiency of it, because I've heard that caffeine can be actually addictive. And that's probably very true. I probably do have a case of caffeine addiction, as I'm sure a lot of people do. But what I'm going to say is I'm just going to restrict myself to sodas for those times. If I'm like, man, I got a migraine, and I'm just like, I think I need a soda to get rid of this, so I'll do that. Over time, I'm probably going to have to cut out more and more soda and just kind of tough it out when I get migraines from it. It's kind of weird. I know I talked about migraines the other day, but I get migraines all the time, and I'm pretty sure there's like 3 sources of them, maybe 4. One of them is light, bright light, especially sunlight. Not like artificial light doesn't really give me a problem, but ever since I was little, I've just had this battle with my eyes with bright sunlight. Like, if I'm outside, I'm wearing sunglasses, no questions asked, unless it's, really dark, like it's early morning or late at night. And the reason for that is bright sunlight. I have to walk around like this. I can't really open my eyes all that much ever since I was very little. So, well, I don't know that it's lifestyle stuff that's caused that. It may just be my eyes. Subluxation can give me a headache. The doctor who delivered me, decided not to do a good job of it. And so he kind of suction cupped me when I was given birth. And that screwed my neck up for life. I also have pretty bad sinuses. I'll get sinus headaches a lot from allergies or whatever. And then the other thing that I can think of that probably gives me headaches is deprivation of certain kinds of things, like caffeine deprivation. If I've not had a soda in so long, I could see that may be causing a headache, and that may be why sometimes soda will help my headaches. So basically, when I talk about migraines, this is something I've had my whole life. It's not a recent thing. It's not a new thing, or I don't think I've gotten sick or anything like that, and that's caused that. Because this has been as long as I can remember, since I was 8, 9, 10 years old. I've gotten this all the time. And it's not my environment either, because in that time, we've moved many times. We've moved houses, we've moved states, like, I don't really know. But that's the first thing I'm going to try and do, is cut down on soda and only have it if I've specifically think I need to get some soda to take care of a migraine or something like that. The second thing I'm going to do is really, really focus on increasing how much water I'm drinking. I normally do drink a lot of water, like I said last Wednesday. This week I haven't drank as much, obviously, because our fridge broke for several days. But on the whole, I'm really going to try and focus on, okay, how many glasses of water have I drunk? How many do I need to be drinking? Okay, well, let me focus on doing that. The last thing is, and tonight, unfortunately, isn't going to work because we have our Bible study tonight, and people stay pretty late, so I can't really go on a walk tonight. But the other thing is trying to focus on, especially over the next few days, when it's not quite as bitterly cold, going on walks every night and seeing if that'll help. Actually, the very last thing, I know I said that was the last thing, but the very last thing is I'm going to try and do something all the time. Or not all the time, but if I'm doing something where I don't specifically have to be just sitting doing nothing but, focusing on what I'm doing, like if I'm editing a video, I can't be doing other stuff. I've got to be editing the video. But if I'm or photoshopping or something like that, but if I'm just watching a video, if I'm waiting for something to export or whatever, what I can be doing is using watching an LP video, or watching different things online, or different things like that. I can use that as a way to have something to kind of distract me from working out, and do, while I'm watching an LP video, do sit-ups or do push-ups, or, do weights maybe, or different things like that. Build it up over time, but just eventually try and turn all the time I'm just sitting doing nothing, that I don't really think about the fact I'm doing nothing, trying to turn that into activity. and over time see if that can help. That can help my general fitness. So yeah, I gained a pound point 2 this week, but I'm not horribly worried about it. It's not something that I'm surprised by. I kind of expected it, honestly, for the reasons I said earlier. But I am glad that it wasn't more than that. I haven't done a whole lot yet today. It's, not quite 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I woke up pretty late, but I hung out with Dylan last night after I was not expecting to. I got to hang out with Dylan. That was awesome. We did some Civilization 5. That was very fun. So I slept pretty late today, but what I'm going to be doing now is I've eaten lunch, I've showered, I've done all that stuff. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and get some emails sent out. I sent out an email yesterday for some business stuff, and I'm going to try and send maybe 2 or 3 others out and just see where they go and hope that I can get some more business in this month. I should say the next few weeks, really, ideally, for my business so that I can get some more money in, because I really need it. I really need to get some more money in. But I'm not worried about it. I'm confident I'm going to get business. It's just a matter of knowing where to look and sending the emails out and making the calls and doing whatever I need to do. So that's probably what most of today is going to be, outside of doing video stuff. And then tonight, we have our young adult group, which is awesome. We're resuming at last after our holiday break. And so I'm glad that we're bringing it back, because it's a lot of fun.